Good morning. Good morning. Can you get everybody to stand up real quick? I'm not doing trumpet jacks. Okay. I have three very important questions for you real quick. Ice cream or cake? Good answer. Books or the movies? All right. Coffee or tea? Coffee! All right. I want you to pick one of those three items and convince the person next to you that you're correct. Go. You have 30 seconds. Did it work? Did you convince them? I have a very simple topic that I want to talk with you about today. It's convince me. How do you convince me that you're right? Or that your thoughts, your experience, your approach might be something that I should integrate into what I'm doing? And in fact, the first question, we're going to back up for a second. Before you convince somebody else, you might have to ask the question, what really convicts you? What really makes you believe what you believe? Is it your knowledge and experience, a gut feeling, your particular perspective? Why books instead of movies? Maybe it's the history that you have. I think a lot of times when we have a conversation and we try to convict or convince somebody, we intend well, but we forget what it really takes to convince somebody. So let's see if we can break this down. To convince people, to convince others, you must be able to connect with them. Time for the Latin lesson. The word convince actually breaks down from Latin. Convincio. Now I know what you're thinking. There's no H there. I'm probably using Italian pronunciation. I assure you it's not. Latin's a dead language we actually really don't know. So everybody relax. It's okay. However, that said, if you actually break those words apart, convincio means with conquest. When you try to convince somebody, you're not trying to conquer them. You're trying to conquer with them. You're trying to conquer the gap between what I think, feel, believe, and know to be true and where they are. And to do that, we need more Latin. You've got to connect. Connectere. Connectere. You'll notice that it's also with, but it's to bind. I want you to look around this room. We are all with each other. This is my very first charter conference. I'm really excited to be here. But I have a very important question for you. What binds you to the people that are here? I didn't say why are you with them. What binds you? What is going to ensure that we maintain that connection? Now, when we talk about convincing, we talk about connecting, you have to understand that to connect, you must bind. You must bind what? You must bind yourself to the core of others, who they are. Those connections that bind us are what you want to appeal to. That's how you convince others. In fact, it sounds complicated, but there's 3 simple, powerful steps. All you have to do, is that time? I gotta go? No. All right. Thought I was going to do a cliffhanger and get back to this next chart conference. 3 simple, powerful steps. Step number 1, you must appeal to some source of common truth. When we talk about books, there is something about you that must be bound or connected to the person you're talking to so that you can appeal to that source of truth. Now, you can think about it. I'm sure everybody in here has an operations manual or an employee handbook or that one leader that makes the rules that you appeal to their authority. You might be that leader. But there must be a source of truth for us to bind to. Step 2, once you have that source of truth, you must lay out the facts, the emotions, set aside the pieces of information most relevant to the discussion. And 3, you must use if statements. This is not an Excel speech, though I love Excel. I'm going to tell you, the if statement isn't about an emotional connection. For you to conquer with somebody is to say, I would agree with you if, and you are going to go to their side, their belief, and you're going to connect. No, bind yourself to where they are so that you can look back at the way you're seeing something and explain where you're coming from. But that only works if you connect with who they are and what they think. That is your source of truth. Without that, you will try to conquer them, not with them, but you will try to conquer them. If you want to convince me, if you want to convince others, you want to convince them, it's very simple. What you must do is connect. You must bind yourself to them, not to overcome them, but to overcome with them. Thank you.